There we go. All right, we're going to get started. Okay, so core and pelvic floor focused practice all month long. Yeah, we're just going to get right into it today. Practice, ideally, if you have a couple of blocks close by, grab them. We can modify, we can adopt postures to not have them, but they're nice to have in your proximity for one of the preparatory postures that are going to help us kind of ignite the core as we work and build towards our peak pose. So, all right, we're going to come onto our backs. Let's start there. Come on down, keep the knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. Maybe just take a few moments to adjust, move through the hips, through the pelvis. Make sure the head, neck, and shoulders feel nice in their placement. Land the hands maybe down onto the body, one hand belly, one hand heart. Close the eyes and give yourself permission to just take a couple of breaths. As you breathe in, allow a nice full sense of softening to take place. And as you breathe out, start to actively engage in supporting the out breath, drawing the navel in and down towards the spine. That's kind of what we talked about in Thursday morning session. The recording is in the collection. So every time we exhale, we're going to actively engage in supporting the out breath. Okay, taking these few moments just to connect to breath, just to become aware of the movement and your capacity to support it. Notice the sensations, sometimes, especially if there's any kind of just stagnation in the digestive system or even inflammation in the digestive system. Sometimes even just in contracting the navel in and down to the spine can create referring pain, or even just sensation through the low back. So just become aware of that. We're going to move in such a way that working with the strength of the exhale to really just reinforce the strength in the front side of the body, the abdomen. So from bottom ribs to pubic bone. That's kind of almost shortening and drawing in with every exhale. Okay, so give yourself permission to just do a couple more active breath movements here. Softening on the inhale. Actively engaging on the exhale. And then again, nice simple breath in. Softening, inhale. Nothing is moving other than the strength of those core muscles being activated quite a bit on the exhalation. Now keep this present, okay, and then just start to create little movements, wiggling fingers and toes. Turn your chin maybe gently side to side. Every exhale is a reinforcement of core strength, and I'll do my best to help cue that as we continue to build our practice here. And then go ahead when you're ready. Stretch the legs long, reach the arms over your head, give yourself a little point out from tip to tip. Maybe a yawn if that's there and feels nice for you. And then actually let's just do a little lateral movement here. So both arms, both legs come over to the right side corners of your mat. Stretch your left side body a little bit. Cross an ankle, hold a wrist, whatever works to support you here. Full deep breath in. Again, activate that core. Exhale. Shortening between bottom rib and hip bone. Breathe in, let there be softness. Breathe out, activate the core. Find that bit of strength. Now let's go ahead and switch both arms, both legs now over to the left side corners of the mat. Cross again an ankle if that feels good. Hold a wrist, whatever works for you. And then again, okay, just concentrating on the front body core. Breathe in, let there be a sense of softness. As you exhale, actively engage in contracting the core muscles, shortening between bottom rib and hip bone. Again, feel the expansion, feel the stretch. And then exhale, feel the contraction and strength. Good. Then slowly return. Find your way back through to your central line. Bend through those knees. Feet land on the mat. And then from here, let's take right knee in towards the chest. Lace the hands around the knee shin. We're going to do a little bit of lifting and lowering with the upper body, head, neck, and shoulders. Use your hands if you need to support the back of the head. We take a full breath in here. Give space for expansion. Maybe let the right thigh move away from the belly. As you exhale, squish and lift nose towards the knee. And then again, inhale, come down, a little bit of space. Exhale, contract navel region. The low back will press into the floor here. Be mindful of how much you push your left foot into the floor. Just let it rest gently. Inhale again, head, shoulders down. Exhale, pick up. So just moving in this little tuck position and at the same time, deeper activation of the core. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift up. Good. Inhale, release. Land the right foot to the floor. And then as you're ready, draw the left leg in and onto the body. Hands come around the left shin. Take a full breath in, a little bit of space. Exhale, head, nose towards left knee. Contract the abdominals. Watch how much the right foot is pushing into the mat. Use your core muscles. Inhale again, head, shoulders down. Exhale, lift up. Again, inhale, head, shoulders down. Exhale, lift. One more, head, shoulders down. Exhale, lift, contract the core. Good, inhale, head, shoulders down. Exhale, release the left foot. Okay, we're gonna make this dynamic and add on to it. We're gonna straighten through the right leg, let it hover off the mat. Let the left foot, again, just be there for stability. Try not to press into it too much. Take the hands in and around behind the head. We're just gonna do some simple crunches, drawing nose towards knee. We breathe in on the long stretch. Exhale, knee into chest, nose in towards knee, contract. Again, inhale, stretch and reach. Exhale, draw and contract, navel to spine, elbows and nose to knee. Okay, inhale again, think of like an active cat and cow. Exhale, draw in, tone navel. Inhale again, reach. Exhale, draw in, just contract, tucking nose to knee. 4 more, inhale, right leg extends. Exhale, tuck, contract, so activating, waking up the core. Inhale again, reach. Exhale, draw in. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, draw in. Last one, inhale, reach right leg. Exhale, draw in. Inhale, reach the leg, lower head and shoulders. And then exhale, rebend right knee, plant the foot to the floor, rest the arms. See if you can release the tension through the neck. In fact, let's place the hands on the collarbones. It's hard for me to do with the microphone here. Place the hands on the collarbones. I want you to pull down a little bit and then lift and look the chin the opposite direction just to stretch the neck muscles. They tend to do a lot of work in that bit of core. Okay, and then slowly return the head to neutral. Take the hands again in behind the head. Here comes the second side. So we're gonna take the left leg, stretch and hover it over the mat. Right foot is just there for stability. Take a breath in on this stretch and expansion. As you exhale, nose to knee. Inhale again, reach. Exhale, contract. Again, reach. Exhale, contract. Again, reach. Exhale, contract. Again, reach. Exhale, contract, navel to spine, nose to knee, strong core. Inhale again, reach. Let the softness be present. Exhale, tone in, shorten the front side of the body. Last 2, inhale, reach. Right foot is just passive. Exhale, contract. 1 more, inhale, reach. Exhale, contract. Good. Inhale, reach, stretch it long. And then exhale, return left foot to the floor. And then just to release again the neck in a different way, outstretch the arms to the sides. Turn your chin in one direction. Nice full breath in. You can contract those abdominals, support that out breath. Turn the chin back through to center and then to the second side. Chin other direction, feel the release through the neck. Again, we tend to utilize so much of those head and neck muscles when we really want to activate the core to do the lifting for us. And that's going to come into play largely when we flip ourselves over here shortly. All right. Bring the chin back through to center. Take both knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a little hug, little squeeze, little back and forth, side to side if that feels nice. If rocking and rolling is in your practice, then rock and roll. Find your way on up to sitting. Swing your legs around, and then let's come into a child's pose. Now, as you come into child's pose, let's keep the legs no wider than shoulder distance apart. If you can come closed, then go closed. But if you want that little bit of space, give yourself a little bit of space. Toes touch. Let's stretch the hands and arms towards the top of the mat as we fold ourselves over and down in the space between. Okay, now again, I want you to focus on the contraction of the exhalation here in this pose. So we take a breath in, let there be softness. As you exhale, navel moves up towards the spine as you contract and support the out breath. Do it again. Inhale, soften. Exhale, contract, navel to spine. Use the hands to press into the mat as your heels reach to the seat reaches to the heels. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, navel to spine. Stretch, stretch, stretch. Good. Then inhale, slowly rise. Bring yourself up onto your hands and knees. And then from a neutral position, we're going to work the cat posture. Okay, so neutral here. We won't move into cow. We'll just stay neutral. Breathe in. Then as you exhale, really shorten again the front side of the body. Press the floor away. Tone the navel. Take the chin to the collarbones. Again, neutral. Breathe in. Really nice, strong cat. Press hands down, tone the navel. So really shorten across the front side of the body here. Again, inhale. Neutral spine. Exhale, press the floor away. Tone, 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 tone. Navel to spine. Okay, one more neutral. Breathe in. Exhale, tuck, tone, 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 tone the navel, navel to spine, round the back. Good, and then from here, find your neutral. And then walk the knees a little closer towards those wrists. Find your blocks. Now your blocks are going to come somewhere on either side of your knees, thighs, somewhere right beside you. Mindful of the knees, start to settle yourself back into a Virasana, little hero's pose. Now, if kneeling back is not conducive to your practice, just stay elevated. Mindful if you're working with the blocks at the highest height, especially if they're the foam ones, because they will be wobbly. Okay, we're going to practice this same lift, this same rounding, except from a kneeling pose and the hands on the blocks. Okay, so I want you to think of the curl we did. Okay, trying to keep a bit of spaciousness about the shoulders and ears. You can round without shrugging, and that's what we're after. Hands are going to be on the blocks somewhere beside those thighs and knees. You're going to push down into those blocks, straighten through the arms. We breathe in, feel the expansion. Now, as you exhale, push into your shins and see if you can almost lift the thighs, the shins up and away from the floor as the toes come down on the exhale. Inhale again, we find neutral, we give expansion, straighten through the arms. The arms are strong, we push down into the arms, we curl the pelvis and take the navel up and back, shortening the front body. We're going to do this a couple more rounds. Inhale, exhale, push down, tone and lift. You're floating up on those toes, ankles, doesn't matter how high you come. Inhale. It's about this rounding, navel back, and that press in the hands will eventually pick the thighs up towards the belly. 2 more rounds. Inhale. This is eventually upliti. Exhale, push down, lift up. Again, inhale. Exhale, push down, lift up, navel spine. Inhale, take those knees, shins to the floor. Shift your blocks out of the way. And if you didn't have blocks, that becomes an extremely challenging practice to do, but you just work with it. Okay, give the wrists a little roll. Again, you can be up on the knees versus kneeling down if need be. Nice full deep breath. Circle the wrists in the other direction. And your breath out. Good. Take your hands to the floor. Tuck through those toes for our cow pose. Breathe in, belly down, shoulders bright. Exhale. Let's come to downward facing, lifting the seat up and back. Pedal through the feet a little bit. Sway through the hips. Maybe even turn the head gently side to side. Nice full deep breath. Let the breath come out. Here's your contraction, front side body opportunity. Inhale again, belly expands and softens. Exhale, navel to spine. Good, then inhale, gaze forward. Let's step the right foot through to the top of the mat. Okay, turn and ground the back foot, rise. Come on up. Let's find Virabhadrasana A. A little bit of stretch and release through the left side. Hip flexor, send and reach, maybe the arms to the sky or keep the hands in Anjali Mudra. Let's apply that same idea and principle. Inhale, feel the expansion across the front side body. Without moving anything, contract, navel back. Again, breathe in and then breathe out. Let's come to a humble warrior. Reach the arms on your inhalation. As you exhale, take the hands around behind. Hands can be to the hips. Lace the hands behind you if you like. Roll the shoulders, open the chest on the in-breath. Feel the expansion. As you exhale, tone through the navel and start to fold, bringing the torso down onto that front thigh, or eventually on the inside of the front thigh. Maybe look back at the back foot. Dip the crown towards the arch side of that right foot. Breathe in balance. Exhale, navel contracts. Okay, one more nice full deep breath here. Let the breath come out. Inhale, lift part way up, hands to the floor. Exhale, step your way back. Find plank pose, which can be table. Tone through the navel, breathe in. Exhale, lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Okay, take those elbows, forearms, hands to the mat. And we're going to come into a little reverse crunch practice. Work from your knees or your toes. Elbows down from shoulders, hands out from those elbows. On your inhalation, it's like a baby sphinx. As you exhale again, we contract and shorten the front side body, picking the pelvis up. Maybe stay on the knees. Do that again. Inhale, belly down. Heart forward. Exhale again. Pick up, tone, navel. Bottom rib to hip bone gets closer. Inhale again, come down. Exhale, you can come up to the next level, which is to float on the toes. Tops of the feet, I should say. Inhale again, come down. Exhale, pick it up. We've got 4 more of these bad boys. Inhale. Exhale, lift. Again, down, breathe in. Exhale, lift. Down again, breathe in. Front side body shortens, bottom rib to hip bone. Last one here, inhale down. Exhale, lift. Inhale, come down. And then exhale, adjust the hands. When you're ready, press yourself back up through your tabletop or plank. And then let's come into that child's pose. Again, knees no wider than the torso. Tone through the navel. Use your hands to press into the mat and stretch the seat back towards the heels, kind of really making that ball shape. Full deep breath. And your breath out. Inhale, rise. Come on up through table. Find maybe a cow posture, belly down, collarbones broad. Exhale, hips up and back, downward facing dog. Stretch it out, cycle the feet, move the head. Actively again engage navel spine, shorten the front side body as you go. One more full breath here. And your breath out. Inhale, lift the gaze, look forward. Now it's the left foot that steps through for Virabhadrasana A, Warrior One, second side. Come on up. Hands and arms can lift, or bring them in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. Doesn't matter so much here. Get your body in that upright posture, stretch that right side hip flexor, and then come back to the toning of the navel. Okay, inhale, let the expansion be present. As you exhale, navel draws in and back, front side hip bone, front side ribs, shorten. They move towards one another without impacting anything else. One more breath here. Let the breath come out. Inhale, stretch the arms. As you exhale, hands again either to hips or lace them around behind you. Roll the shoulders back, open through the chest, and then exhale, fold into our humble warrior on the other side. Okay, as you come down, left thigh, left side body, gaze at the front foot or tuck the chin and gaze to the back foot. Breathe in here. Breathe out. Again, breathe. And out. Navel spine. Again, shorten front side body. One more breath here. And the breath out. Inhale, come part way up. Land again, the hands to the mat. Step back, find your way through that plank table. And then again, lower all the way down to the belly. We're going to repeat that reverse crunch practice. Elbows, hands to the floor. Work from knees, work from toes. Inhale here. Exhale, lift. Now again, breathe in. Slow, steady breaths. There's nothing raced or forced. It's controlled movement. Let your mind be fully engaged in the act of expanding, stretching on the in-breath. Okay, and the exhale is the contraction and the lift element, as little as much as the lift happens. Again, breathe in. Exhale, slow, controlled, steady, yet fluid. Again, breathe in. Exhale, lift. Breathe in. Exhale, lift. Last two here, in breath. Exhale, lift. Last one, in breath. Exhale, lift. Inhale, slowly return. Adjust, take the hands beside those ribs. Again, as you're ready, press up through table or plank. Child's pose, big toes touch, knees just as wide as the torso or closer together. Hands and arms reach. Feel free to lift the wrists this time if you want a little reprieve. Use those hands though to anchor your seat back and down. Breathe in. Contract, breathe out. One more here. Inhale. And your exhale. Good. Ground those hands. Rise. Come on up. Tuck toes. Cow pose. Breathe in. Exhale. Downward facing. Shift your hips up and away. Sway it out. Nod the head. Do whatever you might need to do here to help make this a little more freeing and enjoyable. Full deep breath. Pardon me. Pardon me again. And breathe out. All right, from here, lift gaze. Look forward. Walk your feet to the outsides of where the hands were. Just slightly wider than the hands, maybe. Again, block might come in handy here as we bring ourselves into a squat. So adjust. You might turn the toes slightly outward. The thighs are just a little bit wider than the ribs. And those knees, although the knees will come wide because, of course, you're trying to fit your torso between the thighs, we don't want them too wide. We want to almost activate and squeeze them in here And then the hands can just rest holding on here or just float them away from the floor. Keep a sense of broadening across the collarbone. And then as we pause in our squat, again, think about core contraction. So inhale, let there be softness and expansion. Exhale, contract. There's really no movement other than what you're feeling and, of course, experiencing in the belly area. Inhale again, feel the softness. Exhale, contract. You might notice that the pelvic floor, we haven't talked about it and won't today, but maybe there's a response from the pelvic floor also. Couple more breaths here. Inhale. Exhale, contract. Last one here, in breath. Exhale, contract. Good. Take the hands to the floor, lift your seat. Come into a simple forward fold here, adjusting the distance, maybe sway the hips here back and forth, side to side. Okay, a little release through the neck, a little release on the knees. We're going to repeat our squat a second round. Okay, on your next inhalation, lift the gaze, look forward, getting the head above the heart. Exhale, release. Do that one more time. Lift the head above the heart on your inhalation. Keep it up this time as you then again start to sit yourself down. As you can see, I turn my toes out just slightly. Heels are going to remain the same. You can keep your toes forward. I just find in my ankles, toes slightly turned out, feels a little bit better for me. And then again, instead of using the arms to push the inner knees out, I want you to actively squeeze the legs in to the sides of the body. Hold on to the mat if need be. Put a block under your seat if need be. Keep the chest bright. Keep the head up. But then rely again on the core strength with the exhalation. So inhale, there's space. There's release and expansion. And as you exhale, there's contraction. Again, inhale, there's space. Exhale, there's contraction. 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale, contract. Last one. Breathe in. Exhale, contract. Okay, again, we're going to take the hands to the floor. Lift the seat. Adjust the feet as you come into a forward fold, little sway. Keep the knees soft if need be. Release the head if that feels nice. Nice full deep breath. Let your breath fall out. Okay, again, full breath in. And then that full breath out. All right, then from here again, head comes above the heart, knees soft, hands on shins or the floor, it doesn't matter. Exhale, fold it. One more time, head above the heart, half lift. Keep the head up. Exhale again, start to come down to a third round. I'm just going to back up a little bit here. Come down to a third round of Malasana. Okay, so option 1 is to stay in Malasana, working again, squeezing the inner legs in and contracting at the core. Option 2 is to start playing with the floating of the feet, similar to what we did with the hands on the blocks, except this time the knees and the arms meet. So there might be a little inner pocket, okay, or you can put the arm right on the kneecap itself. Your hands are going to come to the floor, your heels are going to lift. And right away, like if I do that, when I lift up, we don't want the knees to go too wide. We want to still glue them into the sides of the body and in towards the arms. Here's where we might create a little bit of pressure. And you don't have to lift up because sometimes just doing that is going to be active and engaging enough. But eventually, the head, the heart stays up. On your exhalation, the core contracts. We press the hands into the floor just like the blocks. We dip forward and then maybe one set of toes comes up, the other set of toes comes up, and then we come back. Whoo! Okay, so Bakasana, the crow pose, or Kakas, or yeah, whatever, I screwed up the names, but crow and crane. Crow is a little more squat, crane is a little higher. Irregardless, same thing happens. We squeeze, okay, thighs in onto belly, we contract front side body, we keep the head up, we just dip the weight forward and then eventually lift the feet, or not. So again, we'll try one more round, working to eventually sustain. Squeeze in, head up, hands down, seat lifts, core lifts the feet, not just the feet lifting off the mat. And then we put them back down. We lift the seat, we fold over the legs, we sway back and forth side to side. Take a nice full deep breath and let your breath fall out. One more here. Inhale. Nod and release the head. Exhale. Okay, and then two options. Option one, just stay in a passive forward fold and roll the wrists. Or option two, take your hands underneath the soles of the feet for Padahastasana. Okay, if that's not available, don't worry about it. Just stay in a simple forward fold and roll the wrists. If the hands are under the feet, press the toes into the wrists a little bit. And then pull up on the arms just a smidge to give those wrists a nice reprieve. Feel the release across the backs of the legs, the passive release on the hip flexors as they stay folded, but not working. And as always, you can release the head and the neck. Full deep breath here. Let the full breath come out. One more. Inhale. Full exhale. Good. Then inhale, soften the knees, release your hands, lift the gaze just briefly. Exhale, take the knees to the floor. Let's come back to that Balasana child's pose, adjusting as you need to. Maybe the knees are a little wider here. Maybe the hands act like a little pillow under the forehead. Let yourself land, let yourself sway if that feels nice. Nice full deep breath. Let the breath come out. Again, nice full easy breath. Let the breath come out. One more easy breath here. And the breath out. And then slowly make your way up through a table and then slink yourself forward and all the way down onto your belly. As you come down onto your belly, again, let's make a little pillow, maybe with those hands underneath the forehead or the chin. And then just separate the knees and feet so that maybe the feet are on the edges of the mat, the knees perhaps a little closer to the edges of the mat. And then just let your knees bend. Okay, so as the knees bend, listen to the low back. You might let the feet move in and find a little closer landing place together. You can certainly sway here, or sometimes it's really beneficial to just remain static, so no movement. Save for the breath. Listen to the low back. If it feels like it's too much, maybe just do one leg at a time. Okay, one knee bent at a time. This gives rise to some release across that front side body that we really worked through practice. Okay, in a relatively passive manner. Breathe easy. And let the breath just fall out instead of amplifying the core movement. Maybe the inhale really helps you to stretch that low back as you feel the movement and the sway, and the exhales, just that softening. Good, then slowly return. Allow the legs to come back to the mat. This time we'll let the legs come parallel. So tuck the toes under, walk the legs so that they're parallel. And then let's from here just find left knee up and out to the side, and then look in the same direction you just sent your knee. Nice inner thigh stretch and release. We breathe. And breathe out. Now you can stay basic and passive like this if you like, or if you want to add a shoulder stretch, take the right arm and reach it out to the side. Let your left hand live in front of the ribs, and then just gently roll a little bit. If the left foot stays on the front side edge of your body and mat, then there's going to be less for the inner thigh and hip. If you want a little bit more, that foot will come up and around in behind the right leg, finding the other edge of the mat. Just move in this, closing posture with ease. Don't force it. Let it be a nice counterbalance to, the front side, hip flexors, the core, and of course, some of that shoulder chest work. All right, last breath here. Let the breath fall out. Oh, I'll stay for one more. It feels good. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Then slowly return. Find your way back onto the belly. Take a moment in the space between. Again, if it feels nice to float the feet in a little sway back and forth, let that happen. Of course, you can come right away to the second side. Legs are parallel at the back of the mat, and then it's just the right knee. So just start with the right knee hiked up. Look in the same direction that your right knee went. Watch the breath. One more nice full breath, staying here if you like. Or if you want that left shoulder stretch, then it's the left arm that reaches out, right hand in front of the ribs, roll over. Let your head rest. Again, right foot can stay on the front side of your body, or you can pick it up and move it around in behind, adjusting as you need to. Again, try not to force to make any twist or sensation happen. Sometimes it's in the pause that we really wake up to the capacity of the pose and the experience. It's not that we go deeper into the pose. It's just that we allow ourselves to marinate a little bit, to get the flavor of the posture in the body and in the mind instead of, spicing it up so much that we don't like the taste. Stay for one more nice full breath here. Let the breath fall out. And then slowly come on back again onto the belly. Adjust, maybe bend through those knees, sway the feet back and forth, side to side if that feels nice. And then as you're ready, allow yourself to settle for final relaxation pose, which can certainly be here on your belly. Or if you like, you can roll yourself gently over and find your way onto your back. If you do find your way onto your back, then you may want to incorporate those blocks once again as you opt for a reclined butterfly pose. So the soles of the feet together, the blocks can be there to help support the legs. And, as you do this, let this be not a deep, deep stretch. Let this be, almost more restorative in nature. So if, for example, your knees don't go very wide here, then support yourself with a higher prop. This isn't about deep stretch. This is about, letting your body find a passive place to land. One where it's not, working to hold, or it doesn't feel like it's being stretched thin. And then when you're ready, let the hands and the arms rest, maybe beside you, maybe one hand belly, one hand heart. And let yourself just land. Let go of the extra control over the out breath. And just let the softness of your belly rise and recede as the diaphragm does its work in its own unique way of contracting and relaxing. When it does, it's going to move the organs and tissues of the abdominal wall. So just let that happen. Let the innate knowing, let that miracle that is your diaphragmatic movement and the breath flow, let it happen without you being in the way. Like everything, there's a time and place to engage, and there's a time and a place to simply step back and observe. And much of our practice of yoga is in learning and identifying those criteria and areas in life, not just on the mat, but off the mat. All too easily, we jump and react. And in doing so, spread ourselves thin, drain ourselves of energy, or just overstep our boundaries. It's a beautiful thing to practice just simply observing, letting things unfold, even just for a beat, even just for a simple pause or a breath. Checking in with yourself and just being that much more readied to then engage in the moment. That takes a lot of strength. That takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of willpower. Knowing when to step up, knowing when to step out. And this is very much what we're practicing all month long, is learning how to hone our power. Use it when necessary, reserve it when possible. Let's just give ourselves a few more moments here to rest. If reclined butterfly feels like you've had enough, then let the legs slide long into full shavasana, maybe even using those blocks behind the legs. Or just simply stay where you are. Please allow yourself to stay in final relaxation pose for as long as you need. Don't let it rush or race to an end. And then when you are ready to conclude your practice, let your breath fall into the body that much more deeply and satisfying. Maybe a yawn. Oh, pardon me. Maybe some small movements and stretches as you wiggle your hands, wiggle your toes, gently draw the legs together if they were still in that butterfly shape. Maybe stretch the legs long, 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 breathing, reaching, finishing your practice. And then taking your time to gently shift, moving from your back over to your preferred side. Taking a moment to breathe. And then as you're ready, slowly let yourself come on up to seated. Give yourself a moment there. Hands can land in Anjali Mudra in front of the heart. Watch the breath consciously fall in. Watch the breath fall out. Knowing that at any moment you can activate and engage in that strength with the front body. Support the outward movement of breath. Support that strong action. And use it wherever you need to as your day unfolds. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om peace, peace, peace. Namaste.